So today we'll talk about a little bit of the collection framework of Python. Okay, in collection framework of Python, we have got lists, tuples, sets, and dictionary. There are four things. Okay, so we'll start with lists. Now these things are very important. Okay, so a list is a collection of elements. So a list can contain collection of elements. A list can contain any number of elements, and it can also contain duplicate elements. Means what? Means let us say there is a list that is containing some numbers. So it can contain duplicate numbers like let's say 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 5, 6, 6, 5, something like that. So basically one number can be repeated or one element can be repeated multiple times. Okay. So these three things we have written over here. The first one is number list that contains some integer values. Second one is a string list that contains some string values, and the third one is a float list contains some float values. Right. So in this way, you can go for a boolean list or you can go for anything. Right. But how do we access these numbers if we want to, right? Or the strings or the floats or whatever? How do we get one by one? So for that, we have to go for writing loops. Right. See, so if you write it like this, the for number in number list print number. So it will go to each of the elements over there and it will print it. You can call it element also. See? So we'll do one thing. We'll define a function that will just print it. Okay. So we'll pass the list name as a parameter. We'll do like this. And now you can see this printing the list of the names over there. So I took a function. That function will automatically iterate over the total number of lists and total number of elements over there, and it will be printing them one by one. Exactly that is happening. So no matter which one I am sending over there, ultimately it will loop through that one. It will give you the elements. That's it. Now this much is pretty much straightforward. The things start happening when you try to have lists within lists. Let's try to see how we can do that. So now see over here, you can see this 2345 has been printed as a single item. 3254 and 57, these three are also printed as a single item because they are actually one single element, but they also themselves are lists. So what I want is that let's say I want to go inside that one, I want to print each of them over there, right? Or let us do something. Let's say for example, I want to just add them. I want to show them as one single element. Let us do that. So whenever I have a list, I want to add them and I just show them as a single element, something like this. So let's see how we can do that. Okay, so now see what we have done over here. What we have done is we have told that for each element that is finding out, I again wrote another loop. This is called nesting of loops. I wrote another loop inside that when we find each of the element, I wanted to add those elements. And see, I've taken a variable called x, which is starting from 0. So what have I told? I've told that find out all the elements within the sublist. That is, let's say, the 2345 is a sublist and this one is a sublist, let's like that. So I'm telling that take each of the elements of the sublist, add them together, and see I'm adding them and putting inside the variable x, right, which is initialized at 0. And then what I'm doing, I'm just putting it in the list itself. Or else I'll do one thing, I'll just use the my list modified. I'll just change it over there. See, instead of putting it here. Okay, but here there is a problem. So that is, how do I know whether that element, whichever I am seeing right now, is a list element or is it just a number? Because you can say it is a mixture of numbers as well as lists. How do I find it? That's the question. So what you can do is that, okay, let's understand what is happening. We are saying that for element in my list, so this will go through each of the elements. So this will go through each of the elements in the list. The next line I'm trying to figure out, or let's see if the current element where you're looking at is a list or not. Right? So then what we're doing, we're saying that if it is a list, right, we're taking a simple variable, you can see x equal to 0, so you're going to add it over there. In case it was a list, we shall loop through the elements within that list once again. I'll keep on adding the element, right? And once we've done that, we are what we are doing, we are pushing that, let's say the summation in the new list. So append is to just add a new element in the list, okay? And here is like, in case it was not a list, we directly shall elements within the new list. So this is what we are doing. Let us try to see whether this thing works or not. So we're printing the my list modified. Why is it printing this, guys? Why is this thing getting printed? It will happen if I just take this guy below. I'll just delete this printing. That's it. Now let me run it. Okay. So you can see first element was not a list, it printed 1 because it came to the else part. Second element was not a list, it printed 3 because it came in the else part. The third element was a list, so it added it 23 and 45 because that's what I've told, and it added that part. It kept on adding things over there whenever it found out one. So this is your nested loop within a loop, right? The functions that we find out for list, I'll just come back over here. The functions that we find out for a list, there are certain functions about a list. So let's say I have the string list dot. Now look at this. The first one is append. Append means you can add a new item in the list. The count will tell you the total number of elements in the list. See this. We call it print total elements in list is, and I take the count and I run this program. Okay, what happened? The count is not the length. The total element is found out by the function called len, len. So it will tell you that what is the length of the string list. So see, elements is four. There are four elements in the string list. That's what it is telling. That's how this thing works out. If I want to find out count, count is like for one item, how many times that is present. So let us see if I say, if we take the first list, in the first list you can see we've got four three times. So if I say four is present in list is, and I go like number list dot count four, it'll tell me four is present in the list is three times. So we can see it tells that how many times a particular element is present in the list if I use the count function. So now let us try to look into some other functions as well. So there are multiple kinds of functions you can see. Let us try to go for another function which is, let's number list dot. So count we understood, append we understood. What is extend? Let us try to see extend. So extend is if I try to add another list within the list. Means what? See, I'll explain you this thing. This is a little important part. Let us say we have another list. Okay? We'll call it a another number list. Okay. Or let's take the string list also. So if I go ahead and if I do like this, let's say number list dot append string list. If I do this and then I print the number list, so you will see that the elements of number list is there, whatever is there, 1, 2, 2, 2, etc. I'll just delete some of the numbers from here. That's it. I'll just delete them just to make it look a little smaller. That's it. So immediately this thing changed. Four present in the list is one time because only one is there. So if you see, it's printed like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the entire thing. That means if I print them in the same line, you will find out this thing hilarious. See what has happened just now. You wanted to do something and something else happened. See, if I go like this and if I print it, same line, this thing has been added as an element directly. And it is also, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements are there. And the fifth element itself is a list also. But I didn't want that. I wanted these things also to participate as a list element only. If I try to print the total number and count of, let's say this one, the number list, you'll find out it is giving you five. Run it. See, not five. Okay, what happened over here? Okay, the appending is happening here, so I need to print it later. This is when I print it, that point of time it was four only, but then I appended, so I should print it after appending. So it is telling the total number of elements in the list is five. So first element, second element, third, fourth, and last element. So we do not want that. We want it to be added as one element itself. So instead of append, I will extend. And then if I run this, see this will become one element. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 elements. Total number of elements in the list is 8. So extend is for adding another list or whatever you have, so that you can try to add, and those elements will directly be added as elements of this. If you append it, that list will be just considered as one element within this list. That's the difference between append and extend. Now let us see what else we have got. We have a remove, right? So let us say number list dot remove. I want to remove some object. Which object I want to remove? I want to remove, let's say, 3. So I can write number list dot remove 3. After that I print number list, you will see that it has gone. 3 has gone basically. So here itself I'll do. See. So 3 has been deleted. The other things are there. So that is your remove. If you want to remove by index, let's say, I mean, there is indexing, right? The first element is known as the zeroth element. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there are 7 indexes. So starting from the first element is always 0 index, second is always first index, third, second index, third index, fourth index, like that will keep on going. So total, if there are 8 elements, there are total 7 is the highest index. If 8 elements are there, the highest index is 7. If I say, see, let's say number list dot pop listing text index. Let's say I want to pop the fifth element. So fifth means which one? Zeroth, first, second, third, fourth, fifth. So this is the fifth element, right? See, that is gone. If I, let's say instead of fifth, I want to delete the third element. So then the word Pramod will be removed. See? So it depends which element you want to remove. So that is your pop. We can just press the dot, and the best part is the suggestion will come up. You will be finding out what all methods you have. So if you put dot, you can see everything. So there is a reverse. Now you can understand. Reverse will just reverse the list. Okay. These things are pretty much understandable, right? Reverse will reverse it. Right. Clear will delete all the elements from the list. A lot of functions are there. I mean, copy. Copy means it will be copying the elements of one list into another list. Right. So that will also happen. So anything you can do. Right? Basically, let's say reverse I want to do. So then I'll go like list printer. Correct? Reverse. Now the last element comes first, and so on and so forth. So this is about a list. One thing about the list is that a list can contain duplicate. Another thing, it can contain any number of elements. So right now there is five elements. You add another one, it becomes six elements, like that, and all those things. We have another form of data structure which is known as tuple. Let us look into tuples. What they do? They're pretty much same as list with only one difference. Let us look at tuples. They're similar to list, but one thing is that not allow the addition of new element on the fly. Means what? Means once you've created a tuple, that tuple equal to this, whatever I've written, it will not allow you to add or delete any element over there. It will not. Addition, deletion, anything. Other than that, it is not, I mean, perfectly fine. Everything works. Let's say, so we write it using parentheses this time. So tuple one equal to, we write using this bracket. It can also contain duplicate element. There is no problem in that. But if you see, and we can print it also. So I'll just print tuple one. So it'll print all the elements. See, all the elements are being printed. Now, if I try to do some operation on this, you can see tuple one dot. So this is only count is there and index is there. Count, index, nothing else. All this underscore functions you do not need to use. You can see just these two functions are there. So there is no sorting, there is nothing, because if you're doing sorting means what? Means you are changing the order of the elements, correct? One element you're putting in first, one you're in the end. That means addition, removal, these things are happening. It does not allow any, I'll just say modification. I'll not even say addition on element, or I'll say modification. It does not allow modification at all. So what you have created, it will be just that one. So the only things you can do is you can count the number of elements that is there within it, any particular element. What is index? Index is like that. What is the index of number? Let's say 56. So it'll tell me that okay, the number 56 is present in second index, right? That's what it will be doing, because you can see it is present in 0, 1, 2. Right? Second one, because it starts with 0. So that's it basically. So it is just printing the the index of a particular one. That's how this thing works out. There is nothing else you can do with tuples. I mean, you can take a list, you can put a tuple within that. That also you can do. Let's say I have a list one equal to, let's say 1, 3, 5. So I want to go like list one dot extend, but that is once again the list functions. Tuple does not allow you dot extend, and you want to extend with tuple one, right? So that is fine. This is perfectly okay. And I'm printing, let's say, just the list. So you'll see that this data will be coming and sitting over there. See, 1, 3, 5, 12, all those data have come over there. So it had 1 to 1, 3, 5. After that, every single thing has come. But that is once again a list operation. I've already showed you what is extend. But you cannot go and do any changes in tuple. We have got another thing that is known as set. There is a third one. Set is another sort of thing. So in set, we will be having, so set is like allows modification. There is no issue in that. Does not allow duplicate element. So if someone tells you that what is the difference between this list, tuple, and set, so understand that list and tuple both allow duplicate, set does not. List and set both allow modification, tuple does not. So these are the certain key points about it. Let us see. So let's say I'm writing s equals to, set is written with a curly bracket. S equal to, I'm writing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 6, 1, 2, 7. If I print this, you will find out all these duplicates have gone. It will become 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This 4, 3 will be gone, 6. 1, 2 will be gone, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 it will become. See this. See 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's extra parts that 4, 3 that was there, that was just duplicate. 1, 2 that was a duplicate that has been discarded. So it will delete all the duplicates. That's it. Other the things are very same. See, s dot pop. Pop means just throw out one element. Remove means remove this particular element. Update. This update is basically when you are trying to put a new element within it. That is called update. So they call it update instead of insert or something. Very same things. So see this thing. If I do like s dot update and let's say add, for example, a new list over here like 23, 56. So that will be added to my s. So there we call it extend. Here we call it update. But they're ultimately the same things. So if I here during updating also, let's say I'm putting another time a duplicate element 7, for example. You will see the 7 will be discarded only till 56 it will take. See, this two element it added. The 7 it did not add in 1 second because it was already present. This is update. The new things that come into picture is intersection, union, these two stuffs. These two are the new things that got added. Okay. So what happens? The intersection. Another thing I'll tell you. There is remove. Okay. If I say I want to remove, let's say 5, and then I want to print the set and see what will happen. It just get rid of 5, right? Means it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 6, 7, 23, 56. But if I try to remove something which is not present, let's say 12. Now there is no 12, right? If I try to remove 12, what will happen? It will throw me error, right? In line number 11, there is a problem. In S remove 12, key error 12. So it is telling that it is unable to do it. So instead of remove, what we can use discard. In discard, what happens if I run it and it is not present, it will still not throw any error. If it is present, it will delete. But if it is not present, it will not give any error. See, try to remove, let's say 4, it will remove it. See, it goes off. But if there is that element is not present, you can use discard and it will be just trying to see if it is present, it will delete. If it is not present, it will be silent. It will not throw any error or something. So you can use them as per your requirement, basically. Let me talk about this intersection union a little bit. So intersection means if there are two sets, let's say I'm creating another one, S2, and I'm writing some elements which is common with that one. Let's say 5 I'm writing, 34, 12, 6, 23, right? Like this. And let's say 13, 15. Two sets are there. Now if you need to find out what are the common elements in the sets, the common elements, how can I do so? So I'll take a new set S3 equal to, I'll do S1 dot intersection, S dot intersection, not S1, sorry, intersection with S2. If I'm doing it and I print it, see, the common ones are only coming 5, 6, and 23. Instead, if I do union, union means what? Just taking it one time. So every number will come only one time only. It is not adding. Whatever common elements they'll be taken, also the uncommon elements, all of them. That is union. So this set operations we can do on sets. You can check if something is a subset, something is superset, disjoint set, etc., etc. These are all mathematical set theory. Subset means you are checking that if S is a subset of, let's say, S3. That is true, right? S is actually a subset of S3, means whatever element is in S that is present in S3. So if I, kind of print this thing, you will see it is giving you true. It will tell it yes, it is true. If I try superset, it will be wrong because of course it is not superset of S3. Impossible. Super means that will be bigger anyway, so it will be false. Right? Clear? So this is your typical the kind of data structure where we have got a iterable data structure. Iterable means what? Means where you can run through the elements within that and you can operate on that. So these are the three data types that we have: list, tuple, and set. And there is another data type that is known as dictionary. Now, what does dictionary do? Let us try to see what dictionary does. Dictionary is actually a key value pair. It's a key value pair. It happens like this. It is also written in curly braces, but how it goes on, see. So I'll call it my dictionary equals to, I'll start like this. And I shall start writing. So it is a key value pair. The key and the value can be of any data type, but you have to maintain the same throughout. In my dictionary, what I have, say, let's say I have some key value pairs. Okay, so I'm writing some keys over here, as in let's say name, for example. So I'm talking about, let's say, a lot of people. So I'm writing name, and then I'm writing the name. So it is a key value, key colon value. The name is, let's say, Pramod. Okay? Then let's say country, let's say India. Then let's say gender is, let's say, male. So this kind of a data structure is your dictionary. Key value, key value, key value, right? So it can be, I mean, the value can be of any type, but if the key you have started with the string, you have to continue with the string. That's the idea. If you start your key, the first key, if you start with number, then you can continue with number. The key value, the left hand side part. Key has to be the same data type. The value can be of any data type. Their mix and match is possible. See this thing. Let me try to do some mix and match. Okay, so I'll go like married, I'll write on false. So that becomes a Boolean data type. Okay. I'll go like, let's say age, for example, 30. So in this way we can continue writing. So now if I try to print the dictionary, the first thing is that if I just print my dictionary, it will be printed anyway without any problem. So it will just tell all these things. You can see key value, key value, key value, key value coming into picture. If I want to find out one particular one, so that also I can do, like print, let's say my dictionary, and I want to find out one particular. Let's say I want to find out, let's say gender. That also I can do. I'll just run that much. It'll tell me male, the output. You can put the key like this. It'll tell you that particular value. If I, let's say, go like age, it'll tell me 30. So if I go like my dictionary, and in the same way I'm writing, but this time I'm writing a new key. Let's say name, country, gender, married, age is there. Let's say along with that, I want to add, let's say, occupation. And I add a value as equal to. So in this way, you add a new value. My dictionary, within square bracket, write a new key equal to, write the value, whatever value you want. So occupation, let's say I'm writing, for example, job. So now if I print the dictionary, you will find out a new field has been added. See, occupation job, which has been added. This was not there earlier, right? So this way you add a new element. So this is okay. What all things can you do on the dictionary? Let us see. Let us put a dot and you can see. One is update, where you can add another one, just like in set we had pop, get. This get is also will give you a particular element. So get, and you can write down what. So if I write down get and I write down, let's say, for example, age. Once again, so just see this thing. It will also give you the, print it. Same thing will happen. Here also you're getting 30. But you don't need to use the get edge and all those things, because you by default you get the just a square bracket and it will work out. Keys. If I print the keys, I'll find out all the keys of this dictionary. Just the keys. Okay. Not the values. See. The keys are name, country, gender, married, age, and occupation, it is telling. So it'll tell you all the keys that you have if you try to just print keys. If we go like items, then see. It says the key value pairs: name Pramod, country India, gender male, married false, like that, occupation job, age 30, etc., etc., etc. So in this way it will be telling you basically. But again, you know that to print the entire dictionary also at a time. So it depends, like which one you want to use. Right? Then let's say go like my dictionary dot values. So just like we have got keys, we have got values also. It will just give us the values. So the keys give us all the keys, values will give us all the values. So the left hand side part is known as key, the right hand side part is known as value. Set default. See what happens. Set default is like if there is a particular key, let's say I'm adding a key called sample key. Okay, simply I'm just adding something and a default value -1. So now if I'm doing this and then I go like print my dictionary, you'll find out this has been added over here. Sample key equal to -1. right? So this one what happens, so if you want to add a particular element with a particular key, now if I try to change it, I can change it very easily. My dictionary, I can just go to like sample key, okay, change the value to let's say 10, and after that if you print my dictionary, so basically what is happening is set default. So whenever you are adding a key, you are also adding a value together with it, right? So just a default value kind of thing. That's why it is taken. So now if you print, you'll see that it has been updated with the latest value. And now the thing is that here, remember one thing in case of dictionary. So I'll just write down the key value pair, and it does not support duplicate keys. Okay, there is something you need to remember. This thing does not support duplicate keys. Means what? Means I cannot have the name two times. It is impossible. Just try out to add a new element. I mean, how will you add a new element? Just add it over there. Because normally, if you put square bracket, it will update. So name again, I'm putting over here. And this time writing name as, let's say, for example, Ganesh. If I do so and I run this program, you'll find out that the output has become Ganesh itself. See, name is Ganesh. So name Pramod is discarded. It will only keep only one time, and it will take the latest value. So if Ganesh is the latest value, it has taken that. It has discarded Pramod. So it will always discard the duplicate elements. This is basically four main things, that is list, tuple, set, and dictionary. Actually, you have all the built-in functions. You want just the keys, you can do the get keys. You can want just the values, you can do get values. Okay, so there is, I mean, you don't need to do anything by yourself. Everything is predefined. And that's the beauty of Python. Every single thing is already written over there. So I'll show you another example with a nested loop. Let's say I want to print a star pattern. Star pattern is a very famous question in programming language. So I have to print a pattern like this: one star, two stars, three stars, four stars, five stars, like this. Okay, and to print this kind of a thing. When I do so, how I can write it? I can write like for, let's say, let's say I want to print 5 lines. So I'll go like for I in range of 5, and then so this will print like what will happen now? See, if I print I, what shall I get? I'll get like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? If I print I plus 1, yeah, then it will become 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, correct? That is exactly the number of stars we want. That many number of stars, then I will not print it anymore. So that means in the first line I want I plus 1 number of stars. So I'll write another loop for, let's say, j in range. I'll write it I plus 1. What I want to do, I want to print a star. And I want to print the same line. So write end equal to blank. Let's select this. So this is for counting lines, and this is for counting stars. How many stars we want? And this is a printing of the star. After printing, I have to come to the next line. So I'll just leave it like this. Now if I run this, see this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. So the first loop is calculating which line you are. First line, second line, third line. And second loop is like how many elements you want to put in them, how many stars you want to print. So for every time this loop is running, this internal loop is also running full, right? First time it ran one, second time it ran twice, third time it ran three times, four. So in nth time it will run in n times. This is basically a nested loop.